Okay. So Annie's already telling me she gave up Yellowstone for this. Is that like I shaved for this? You're making me feel guilty about the date we're about to go on? Settle down. Bagger Baiter, let's kick it. Evil Rick in the house. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's time for Shop Talk. Oh, yeah. No, not the sad trumpet. This is it, baby. Kieran McGarry, yo, from Pork Roll Paradise. Send someone out here to the Midwest, baby. We need it bad. Listen, it's time. It's time for America's first and favorite two-wheel motorcycle talk and entertainment show, Shop Talk, going to you live every Sunday, 9 p.m. on the East Coast. This one's getting ready to fire up right now. I can hear that motorcycle music in the background. That means it's time to get started. Let your friends and neighbors know. Hit the like and share button. Grab a cold drink. Kick back. Relax. Get ready for Shop Talk. Just a couple minutes here. We're 2 minutes out. Killer show lined up tonight. Behind Rudy's Fairing with us. XAM Biker. Robin Hingabottom in the house. Hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Oh man, I got a story to tell you. Cabana Dan in the house. Howdy from Sturgis. It's going to be a good one. Everyone's sitting at home. Got those holiday blues. We're going to try to cure them for you right here. Chris, text me your mailing address and I'll send you Trenton pork roll. Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Becky Quivers Arling in the house. Rooster 2. Josh Collins here with us. Big D checking in from Marengo, Illinois. Minute 32 seconds. Better hurry up. Hurry up. Get on your social media. Tell your friends we're going live with Shop Talk. You are not going to want to miss this one. Killer show tonight. Stick around. Going live in 1 minute. Hey, I got to give a shout out to Gordon is in the house from Flake Paint and Design. Radar Fletcher is here. Paul Adams from Ford City. Met your guest at Cycle Showcase, XAM Biker says, in St. Louis back in February. That's right. 40 seconds. 40 seconds. We're going live with this one. Are you guys ready? Can you handle this? It's Sunday. Time for Shop Talk. We're going to get this one out of the station and up onto the tracks. Let's go live with this week's episode. Here we go. Okay, scooter tramps and chopper jockeys all across the land. It's just after 9 p.m. on the East Coast, 8 o'clock here in Mitchell, South Dakota, where we sit high atop Television Hill in the Clockworks campus, courtesy of the Dennis Kirk Motorcycle Studio. I am Chris with Cycle Source Magazine. I'm going to be your host for the next 90 to 120 minutes of all the two-wheel bullshit I can fit. A little program we call Shop Talk. I'm joined tonight by my illustrious crew.
Hey.
Illustrious. I like the word illustrious.
Illustrious. That's a good word.
Illustrious
Makes me feel
is good.
important.
It should make you feel important. It makes me feel very important when I say high atop Television Hill. Do you remember who used to say that, Mark? We are high atop Television Hill, though.
Yeah, that's a Channel 11 line, is it not?
No, Channel 97.
What's Channel 97?
Really? Yeah.
What's
I'm
that?
going to put you to the Pittsburgh test now.
I
Channel
remember back that
97.
far.
Jim Quinn.
Oh, sweet
Yeah,
Jesus. That was a long time
there's
ago.
a name from the past. Jim Quinn used to say that at the beginning of his show. High atop television hill, even though he was on a radio program.
Okay, then.
Yeah.
So,
Quinn was probably before there was a Rush Limbaugh, before there was, what's his name from the political show. Any of the political commentators. Jim Quinn did a show in Pittsburgh, man, and he was just full of piss, wind, and vinegar every time he went on the air.
so is everyone
So
fat and
long
happy
time.
from this weekend, or what?
Huh?
I said, is everybody all fat and happy from Turkey Day, or have you recovered sufficiently?
You're what?
Turkey Day's boring.
Dude, I have to tell you a
Turkey's
story.
boring.
I have to tell you a story about how I want to kill my wife.
What did I? Wait a minute. What did I do for Turkey Day that you made you want to kill me?
So she gets this idea since we're new to Mitchell. This is our first year here. Our first cocaine. Something's wrong. Heather's not muted. So this is our first Thanksgiving, and Heather gets the idea like we did back in Pittsburgh forever. We did a Christmas Day dinner that we called the Island of Misfit Toys, right? And it was for anybody who didn't have a place to go, and she would just put out a bunch of food. Well, since it's our first year here, she says, hey, anybody that's not got a place to go.
Well, thanks to Miss Denise, who offered up her home, whose house is significantly bigger than ours, and her husband is out of town taking care of some business for them, so she was going to be alone for Thanksgiving. So the two of us kind of put our heads together.
And it's endearing.
Which was great.
My wife is a sweetheart, and she says to everybody, hey, we're going to call this Friendsgiving. Everybody come over, right?
And we figured 10 people or so.
Maybe 10 people. 32 people, Mark.
There's nothing wrong with that.
32.
It was fantastic.
32 people.
It was
I
fantastic.
like that. I grew up with that.
Everybody
That's awesome
brought
to have all those
something
people in the room. Good conversation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
I like
it
to
was.
try and be the troublemaker, so it's fun.
Oh, it was good. I baked up a storm. Everybody brought something, from a tradition that they had or something they just wanted to have there. So it was a really eclectic mix of people and food and laughter. And, I'm not going to lie, growing up in a family very much like you, where you have a big family and holidays are always big and loud, and the thought of it just being Chris and it was kind of like made me a little sad. It was such a great day. I felt so blessed to be with all of those people.
Well, thank God. We can start the show now. Gary Rayfield said Yellowstone is over and he's here. So now we can pull out the good stuff. Glad to see you here, Gary.
So good. I love it.
Yeah, it's nice to have people around you during the holidays. I mean,
It is, man.
Thanksgiving's not my favorite meal of the year. I remember every year at Laconia, Chris would want to go to the dumb Christmas place.
the
to
old
have
people
turkey dinner.
restaurant.
Listen, I'm not going to tell you guys again.
It is totally old people
Stop
restaurant.
hating on Hart's Turkey Farm.
So, but here's the thing, Mark. There was so much food that you didn't have to eat turkey. Like
Oh, my
somebody
God.
brought chili. There were empanadas.
Oh,
There
yeah.
was
Yeah, it
like,
was
sweet
it was
potato
Thanksgiving
casseroles.
around the world.
There was, you name it.
Yep.
It was there, so you could have.
Yeah.
Oh, and Carly said she was going to bring a charcuterie. She did a grazing board for probably 100 people that had everything you could imagine.
Dude, by the time the food came out, we were all sitting there like
Nobody. It was
all right,
great,
so
though.
listen, hey, we want to know about your Thanksgiving. If you wonder how you're going to let us know about that, wherever you're watching Shop Talk from, any of the 15 channels we broadcast this through, you can just put your comment over here on the side, and it'll come in. We'll put it up on the screen. We'll maybe even talk about it, especially if you say something funny like Gary just did, or something that makes fun of Mark. We especially
We like to make
those.
fun of Mark. That's great.
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, so it's been. Listen, this is the thing I can say about the holidays. Being alone for the holidays is hard. Being without your family, being away from your family. Sometimes, and don't hate me for saying this, being with your family can be hard.
No, it
Yes.
can be. Not everybody has a great family unit.
Well, and even if they're great, right? I mean, even if your family's great, like you get to the point over that entire month from Thanksgiving to Christmas, you get to the point that it's like, I just need a minute. Well, we're going to help you out with that. With Grease and Gears TV, we're going to give you a free month. The entire month of the holiday, we're going to give you free motorcycle television All you have to do is go to our site. You can hit this QR code right now or come back to it after a bit. And we're going to give you a free month to check out the best in two-wheel entertainment on Roku,
Right on.
Fire Stick, Apple TV, the whole deal. So
That's super cool.
Well,
I dig that.
Isn't that holiday-ish of you?
isn't it? See?
It's very holiday-ish of you.
I'm going to call that my Black and Blue Friday special.
Nobody likes an effing show off, Chris.
It was good though.
Right on.
It was a good weekend.
Lots of great stuff.
We now that we got the holiday crap out of the way, can we just get on with the goddamn show?
I guess. I mean, we got to
We
do
got
the
a
holiday
cool
thing.
guest, so
Gotta do the
Big
holiday
big thing that we have to talk about, and we're going to talk about this several times through the show. You guys have one more week,
Yes.
1 week to take advantage and help us with the Dream Rides bicycle drive. So if you'd missed this last year, we have a thing that's coming out on all social media channels this week. We have a little piece of it that we're going to play during this show, but the bicycles are piling up. You get a chance at winning one of 2 custom motorcycles, depending on where you enter your tickets for. And just for donating a bicycle for a kid that might need one this Christmas, you're going to automatically get entered to a chance to win one of those bikes. So
Yeah.
go do it now.
And you get a free subscription to Cycle Source if
Go
you
do it
buy your
now.
bike through us.
Yeah, tell them how to do it, Heather. Tell them.
So if you click the link I'm about to drop and buy your bicycle through Cycle Source, we will take care of ordering the bicycle, making sure Dream Rides gets it, but then we're also going to give you a complimentary subscription to Cycle Source for 1 year for your kindness and generosity and helping change a kid's life. So,
Mark Radar says you're a Grinch.
Yes.
Karen bought 4 bicycles last week through us, so thank you so much. If you already have a subscription to Cycle Source and you want to gift your subscription, you're welcome to.
Or hell, I'll tell you this: if you're already a subscriber to Cycle Source, we'll throw in the Grease and Gears TV subscription. How about that?
Well,
So if you already have a subscription, donate the bicycle. We'll throw in the Grease and Gears TV subscription to round out your collection.
Hey, Evil Rick, you did one. One can change a kid's life. That's all it
Absolutely.
takes. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
Absolutely.
Thank
And when you see this video that we did, you'll see what we're talking about. Like, there is nothing like, we had 600 bicycles, and there was a line out the door
was
of
crazy.
people that were waiting to
And that
come
was
in.
just in East Tennessee.
Yeah.
That didn't include the California bicycles because they do it in 2 locations.
Yep.
Kieran, I'm not sure when they are assembling. I will try to find out and let you know. Unfortunately, Chris and I will not be able to be there for it this year. But I'll reach out and let you know.
We're losers.
Well, unfortunately, they're doing it 2 days before Christmas, and Amelia's flying in the day before that. So definitely not losers, but
All right, so let's get to this thing, man. Hey, if you're watching this for the first time, where in the hell have you been? We've been doing this almost 300 episodes now. Every Sunday, 9 p.m. on the East Coast, we go live with this through the courtesy of the Dennis Kirk Motorcycle Studio. We always do a bunch of what happened this week in motorcycling. It's a ride along to our nationally produced Cycle Source magazine, and we bring you some entertainment. We have a guest. We have some laughs. We start the whole thing off with a standard little segment that we call what?
the news.
The Shop Talk World Report is brought to you by Law Tigers. Get the compensation you deserve and get back on the road with Law Tigers.
Geez, that's a little rough, right? It's like, bah, the news, bah.
Not a lot of news this week.
This is sad as hell, though. This comes in from Dealer News, man. Malcolm Smith has passed away.
That is sad.
If you young guys out there don't know this, there's a lot of people that would credit the Terminator, Mr. Schwarzenegger, as increasing Harley-Davidson's popularity through the late 80s into the 90s. It was actually this man right here. I don't think there's a single person that has put as much effort into popularizing America's freedom machine as much as Malcolm Smith has. Passed away in his Riverside home in California, November 26, peacefully surrounded by his family. He's survived by wife Joyce, daughters Louise, Ashley, son Joel and Alexander, granddaughters Evie, Edelyn, Amelia, Mike, Miley, and Claire, and grandson Ethan, Malcolm, and Conrad.
Oh, that's wonderful. He had such a
Great big family,
Good
right?
for
83
him.
years old too, man. You know?
Wow. Yeah, he had a little to do with pushing motorcycles.
Oh my
Just a little
God!
bit, huh?
You think about that, right? I mean, remember the big crazy balloon? He had a motorcycle shaped hot air balloon, and all the stuff that he did with that. Yeah, he was really something. So Godspeed, Malcolm. Also coming in from Dealer News is a double report, actually from our own Cycle Source magazine. Click here to vote the best ofs. If you guys aren't familiar with this, since 2007, we have done a year in review issue.
That's a long time.
Where we give the best of awards. We take a minute to thank and recognize the people that made custom motorcycles and motorcycle industry in general the greatest. So you can vote for the man of the year, the woman of the year, the best bike, the best custom products, the best artists, everything that has to do with it. Heather's going to throw a link up right now, and she's going to tell you more about it.
So it's pretty cool the way we reach out to social media and our peers in the industry, and they nominate people, places, things for this year in review voting. And then you guys choose from those nominations. So you may not necessarily see everybody in motorcycling and everything in motorcycling, because that would be damn near impossible. But we take everybody's opinions, well, most of them, and put them on that voting sheet. And then we will announce it in the February-March issue, our next issue of Cycle Source. It'll be out there.
Our next issue.
Remember
Craziness.
what a pain in the ass that was when it
Oh
started?
my God, dude! When we started,
Jesus.
first of all, we should have never. When they called us up and told us that we could have national distribution for our magazine, we basically, both of us worked at a strip club, and we had access to chicks, and we had access to bikes, and carrying a camera around meant we got into the parties for free.
When you remembered to take the lens cover off.
So that was the extent of our professionalism when it came to doing a motorcycle magazine.
Hey, leave me out of this.
So when we got to the point in 2007, the magazine was already, 10, 20 years old. Jesus. Okay.
20, yeah.
I just had a little bit of a stroke.
2000. Wait a minute. You started in 97.
10 years.
No, it was 10
I'm
years
sorry.
old.
10 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks, Heather, for helping me out.
Where did you
Speaking of taking the lens cover
There's
off.
nothing like your old lady being able to pull your card right in the middle of a nationally broadcast show.
I'm sorry.
No, you're not. You're not. Sorry.
Well, she just gave you 10 years of your life back.
Okay.
Hey, yeah.
The point was, by that point we were getting good enough at Photoshop that we could actually put a magazine together. But we used to sit because we do the top 10 bikes every year. Well, we would completely cut them out so we can do them on this cool backdrop and shit. And we would sit there for a week solid, cutting out every piece of the bike and
Yeah, how long
was
does it take now,
ridiculous.
honey?
We have a guy somewhere in
Here,
Micronesia.
use 10
that-
cutouts for me. The day later, best
Yeah.
$35 I've ever spent in my life.
All right, man. Hey, listen.
You know, and think about how many thousands of hours we stayed in the basement of that goddamn house.
It was
Doing
brutal.
Those
It was
cutouts
brutal.
was painful.
Oh, so bad. I mean, that's what I did I still do the cutouts, but thankfully I'm significantly faster. Hey, before we forget, Tomcat Browning is on here. He's having a pretty major surgery on Tuesday, so let's toss up some prayers for him.
Let's
And
also toss
special
this up
prayers to Tom.
tomorrow, Tom. We're putting the first video up of the continuation of your story. So tomorrow we're going to put up a video on Grease and Gears TV, and we're going to put this on YouTube also, just so everybody can see it. Our visit to Tom's house, the bikes that we picked up there, and the day that we spent with him. It's a really great video.
And I actually haven't, and I know this is probably as personal as I'll get for right now, but Tom, thank you so much. I am so fortunate to have that
Right on.
motorcycle. I can't wait to get on it.
All right, so listen, man, we got a killer guest coming up for you. We're going to take a look real quick at that Dream Reds event from last year. It's going to be a little tug on your heartstrings, so get ready for that. When we come back on the other side, we have Mr. Chuck Garric waiting in the wings so that he can come on and tell you all about the ups and downs of the rock and roll lifestyle. Believe it or not, living on the road 6 months out of the year gets a little heavy. Probably heavy like holiday family, just like I was saying, right? So let's take a look at the Dream Ride thing. We'll see you in a minute. You're watching Shop Talk on the Dennis Kirk Motorcycle Studios. Stick around.
Autofocus is brought to you by Garage Build. Submit your build, share your passion. Powered by Dennis Kirk.
Okay, so as of now, we are full up with bicycles here in the Grease and Gears garage, and this is a special thanks to all of you guys that acted on this, both through our show on Shop Talk last week and Professional Monkey's efforts to reach out and get people to give us a truckload of stuff to take down to Dream Rides of Tennessee. As we sit here right now, we're at 60 bicycles and 110 helmets. We'll figure out how to get them there. We'll figure out how to get all these bicycles assembled, because you guys are helping us and Dream Rides make some kids really, really happy this Christmas. So thank you so much for all of them.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a couple in there.
All right, here we go. Let's see what we can make happen. Here we are at the Tennessee Air National Guard Base. They're assembling all those bicycles that you guys sent to us in boxes. Man, we're so blessed to be a part of this community and have these guys behind us. Come on, let's go inside, check it out. So this year we have 400 plus bicycles donated, thanks to people from all over the country. We even had one guy from Finland donate a bike. The Air Force Base here has really helped us out putting these things together. It's been quite an amazing day. And look behind us, it's just insane. The amount of kids who've shown up. We're gonna have a great Christmas. And it's all because of the generosity of the motorcycle community. The motorcycle misfits, the people on the fringe of society who give back to the communities and do something cool like this. Thank you.
Oh, nice. Paul Yaffe product, huh?
Yeah, man, so excited.
Got a new build?
I do. It's. Aren't you Paul Yaffe?
No, I've never met the guy. But I do know you can get all of his products at DennisKirk.com.
There you go.
Just me? Awesome. Thanks, brother. Appreciate you. Have a good one.
Listen to Not Paul Yaffe. Get all your Bagger Nation products right now at DennisKirk.com.
I'm Nick Trask, Trask Performance, and you're watching Shop Talk.
Whether riding takes you from A to B or just lets you escape, there's a flow to the road you share. So go with it. Eyes open, and always have the Law Tigers by your side. If you've been injured in a motorcycle accident, visit us at lawtigers.com. Law Tigers, America's motorcycle lawyers.
All right, welcome back to Shop Talk in the Dennis Kirk studio. How cool was that, Mark? How cool was that?
That's awesome.
You know, the entire calendar year, I'm trying to get all of this stuff together and everything that we're working on, and I didn't even realize how close it was to the deadline for John's drive this year. And I started working through that video, man, and like it just tore my heart out, like to remember how cool that was. And what is it? What they've been doing 6 years now?
I think 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
5. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
And
5
so good. So good.
cumulatively. That was a hard word.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to get back. I mean, like he said when he was on, was it last week, that there's so many kids out there that don't have the opportunity to get bikes, and to give them a good Christmas and to see the faces. That video that you were playing last year, that little girl thanking everybody, it's like seriously one of my favorite videos. And I'm shocked it hasn't come up yet.
I know. And this year, they're actually doing the bicycle giveaway, the presentation like they did last year at the gymnasium on December 23rd. So just 2 days before Christmas, these kids are going to get their bicycles. And I just think that's so great, because in so many of the cases, they may not have a Christmas.
Yep.
And it just...
Especially in that area this year being hit so hard with weather. And
Yep, absolutely. And they do it no questions asked. Anybody who shows up, you know, can go with a bicycle, or however many children they have. And it was very humbling. And
listen, I don't want to take away from John's program here, but I'm going to remind you guys something that we talked about when we first started reporting about some of the things that were happening in Tennessee. When the cameras go away, that's where a lot of the support goes to. Yep. Don't forget, there's we're getting reports in now, dude, about how horrible the effects of all the storms and I hate to say,
just you can't. It's unfathomable.
The death toll.
Yep.
The death toll is more than they're even talking about on the news. It's absolutely horrible. Those communities have been ravaged by this. So don't forget those people. Absolutely help out with a bicycle drive, because in that area, this is direct, community direct. Somebody, somebody's family that this might help that kid have a good Christmas. Mm-hmm. Get involved.
Yeah, it's easy. Skip a few coffees.
Yeah.
However you can help.
So our guest tonight, I met for the first time. My buddies, Milwaukee Mike, and a bunch of the guys knew this cat, and they kept telling me how I had to meet him. And finally, during Cycle Showcase in St. Louis this year, we got the time to sit down with Chuck Garric, amazing bass player, but also fellow in the passion of two wheels, and he unveiled his custom build at Cycle Showcase this year. And
I think you actually bowed to him at one point during the interview. I'm not gonna
listen. There's a reason.
So
there's a reason. I mean, first of all, the cat is the bass player for Alice Cooper. That's one thing. But I was so enamored by that idea that when I got to talk to him, I was like, look, dude, so my buddies are telling me, like, you're the bass player for Cooper. Like, what's it like being out on road with him? He was like, yeah, it's really cool. He said, before that, I was the bass player for Ronnie James Dio. I dropped my camera and walked away. I was like,
wasn't the LA Guns also? Good. Wasn't he a part of LA Guns too?
Dude,
if I'm not mistaken.
When I heard Dio, I was just like,
oh yeah.
I think you should lead with that. But let's not keep
any of it. Just the fact that he was involved in all that, and yet still humbled enough.
Oh, and he's great.
To be just like one of us,
He's
super cool guy.
A great conversation, great dude to hang out with. So let's get Chuck on the line and check him out. Just Hanging Out in the Shop is brought to you by Spectro Oils. Made in the USA since 1966, the best oil on planet Earth. Chuck, what's up, man?
How are you guys? All right. Yeah, I think I will start leading with the Dio thing. It is, I have to say, that's pretty badass. Even when I get a chance to tell that story, and guys like yourself just flip out, and you could only imagine what it must have felt like from my end, being just a massive fan of Rainbow and Black Sabbath and Dio, and getting the opportunity to tour with that guy and write songs with him.
I can't even imagine.
That was a game changer, man.
Can't even imagine. Yeah. I mean, and listen, I'm not taking anything away from Cooper either, because my God, he's a giant among giants. Mm-hmm. But Dio is like, I mean, that is the patron saint of heavy metal, man. That is the dude, right?
Yeah. No, he's the voice of heavy metal for sure, and just very unique in his own right. I mean, the one thing I have to say what I remember the most about Ronnie was he not only knew the lyrics and the melodies and things like that, but he knew your part. And if you hit a wrong note, man, he would look at you, and he would say, that's a C sharp, or he would sing it, Anna, Ina, or whatever. He'd sing your part to you, and I was always blew my mind, and I played my ass off for Ronnie. I had one show, I made one mistake, and then the rest of it, I swear, I would just dig my toes into my boots. And I would just play with everything I had to be perfect for him. Because first I didn't want to look, but he really made me a better person, better player, real professional. He was awesome.
It sounds like almost like when your mom tells you, I'm not angry, I'm disappointed.
I'm just disappointed.
Nah, Ronnie would come over. He would get you going too. Yeah, he definitely was that, but he wanted perfection. He wanted perfection from everybody. And that's a hard thing to get at times, in the music world. And, it's a human, it's a human thing you're doing. You're performing live. So, you sometimes just forget where your hands are going or something, and it just happens. But the thing about Ronnie was if he was having a good night, he would let you know. One time we were playing, I think it was that song Straight to the Heart, and he just comes over and he does the metal hand, the Dio sign up against my chest, flips his microphone stand over my head, and I swear I died at that moment and just went to heavy metal heaven. I thought it was just so cool. I could just feel the energy. But then there was a time we were playing at the Swedish Rock Festival. There was like 40,000 people there. And for the entire show, Ronnie never came over on my side of the stage. And we even had a couple bits together, and he wouldn't come over. And I thought, what did I do? I must have done something wrong. I don't know why he's mad at me. And so at the end of the show, I said, hey, man, is everything cool? You didn't come over on my side of the stage. He said, oh, yeah, no, your bass was so loud. And I said, well, why didn't you tell me to turn it down? He said, because it sounded so fucking good.
That's awesome.
I gotta say, like, obviously I've never been in a situation where there's tens upon tens of thousands of people, but I've been on some pretty big stages, and music is an organic thing, man. And I've played with the same kind of front man that demanded, like, exacting perfection, right? And at first it used to really piss me off. Like, I used to want to beat him up a lot.
Yeah, a lot.
But then I realized that brought my whole game up too. Like Heather said, I wanted to achieve that for him. I wanted to get to a point where I could see he was having a good time, that he didn't have to think about my part and the other guitar players' parts, because he would do that. You know what I mean? And I think that's a sign of a great frontman too.
Well, I think what happens too is you can just take your mind off of it. You can start focusing on your parts. And when you get to a point as a performer where you're only thinking about what you're doing and you trust the people around you, man, the everything slows down. It becomes more enjoyable. You find yourself just really easing into the parts that you're supposed to be either singing or playing. It becomes more musical. There was a guy I played with. His name was Marty Rifkin, and Marty Rifkin's a pedal steel player. Played with the E Street Band and stuff, and we played in a couple bands together. But Marty used to always get everyone together, and he would say, "Hey, let's get musical tonight. Let's get musical. Right. Let's listen." And I love that about music and performing live, was that it's the community and everybody just getting together. You're not just there for your own solo or your own thing. It's like you're there because you're on stage with 4 or 5 people, and you're supposed to be entertaining people, and you want to get musical, and that's why we're all here up on this stage playing. And I love that. And when you demand that from people and people get offended by it, it's because they're not there for the right reason. And I was that person at times, but Ronnie really taught me that You know, you have to, he demands perfection, not only from me, but also from the lighting guy and, you know, monitor guy, everybody in general, because he is a professional. He's going to go out there and give it his all every night, you know?
What came first
And people
for you,
like that make everybody else better also. You know what I mean?
agree.
So I think, like you're saying, to grab a bit of that feeling and to want to express that back. I mean, just to sit and have a conversation with somebody who actually shared the stage with Dio, like Chris said, is freaking fantastic. I mean, growing up, he was a god to us. So, you know, you fit right in that bill, Chuck. You're right in that alley right now.
Yeah, man. And, you know, and I knew at that moment too, I wanted this to last. I wanted the moment to last forever. And I wanted this to be, you know, to see where I could go with it. So I wanted to give it my all, because I didn't know, you never know how long anything's going to last. Right. So if I kind of just half-assed my way through it, then I would always wonder, well, I wonder if I really would have tried hard, if I could have made a career out of it. Well, you know what? It's been, you know, 30 years now. I've been going back and forth to Europe and the United States and playing rock and roll music for everybody.
Amazing.
So I try to give it my all every night.
That's amazing. What came first for you, motorcycles or music?
Yeah, well, I mean, motorcycles came first at a young age. I you know, was riding dirt bikes and BMX bikes, just like most, you know, young teenagers and young kids. My dad and my godfather, my godfather, his best friend, they grew up in the Bay Area in San Francisco in the 60s, you know, 50s and the 60s. So they were around when all of that stuff was really vibrating. And my dad at a young age, probably 14, 15 years old, him and my godfather, Robert Bianchi, who's still in the game, builds motorcycles, and he's in his, you know, 78, I think, or so. They were raised right there on Church Street, right down the street from Church and Mission, which was only a couple of blocks away from, or a couple of miles away from, the abandoned TV warehouse party and stuff. So they were right across the street from their house was a gas station. They were trading motorcycle parts over there and building bikes in the alley. And my aunt, or, you know, my dad lived with her for a little while. They were building the bike in her little garage there, and also in the alleyway, and they were just chopping away and learning how to build, and they became part of that community and of what we all look at now as, you know, what started the whole thing for us, you know, getting into riding motorcycles and chopping them and figuring out how, you know, just how it all works. And they were doing that at a very, very young age. So my dad had a real mechanic sense to him. We were building mini bikes and go-karts and whatever we could get our hands on. He always steered me away from street bikes. He tried to just keep me on the dirt track, which, you know, I did for quite a long time. And it wasn't until I was moved out of the house and, you know, got into my mid-20s and started riding street bikes. But motorcycles came first, and music was a real close second. I was terrible at school. I was great at, you know, PE and sports and things like that, but everything else just sort of like bored me. I just wasn't quite excelling enough, and so music came along, and it was something I instantly gravitated towards, and I could get. And at that time, you know, in the 70s and in the 80s, music was just so alive. Like it was a way you can meet your new friends and you know, find out what's happening, and you hang out at music stores and record shops, and you would just, you know, learn about what's going on. And I really love that. So I caught on to music quickly, and it was one of those things where I knew I was going to just do something with it. I just wasn't quite sure, but I really didn't overthink it. I just sort of let my body just went towards wherever the music was happening. So I instantly went to Los Angeles right out of high school and just figured it all out.
That's amazing.
You know, a very good brother of mine, you probably met a bunch on the road, Xavier, was the...
Oh, yeah.
So Xavier and I have these super long conversations all the time about the parables or the parallels of motorcycles and music, and how many of those stories and situations are so much alike. And even what you just shared, right?
Yeah.
That's the same thing motorcycles was when we were young. Like, you finally got out and you met new guys, you increased your circle, you learned new things, you learned about bikes and about culture, and it kept going. And another time where motorcycles and music run neck and neck.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I think that's what I love so much about the community was, I'm new to the game. It's only been a couple of years now, really. I mean, I think it was just probably 2 or 3 years ago is when I really started to get the itch again. And I was just shocked by just the community of people I met in such a short amount of time. And how much I had in common with everybody, and just a real desire to just want to continue to hang out and talk about motorcycles or road trips or music, and we just have so much in common. And that's what I love the most about the motorcycle community. And another cool thing is what I do for a living. I tour, and when I'm out on tour, I get guys coming to see the shows now that I've met throughout the years, which is really super cool. You get a chance to see people just outside of a different element, not just in a warehouse looking at motorcycles. You get to come down, they get to see what I get to do for a living,
No, it's really cool. And that's, in both environments, man, like you're the consummate rock and roller. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I've seen you in both arenas, and like your personality just comes through in all of that. Like, it's what you're doing. You're totally into what you're doing. And let's talk for a minute about what I said early in the show, that I met you at St. Louis this year when you were unveiling this motorcycle. And this bike's cool as hell, man, and absolutely no slouch.
Thanks, brother. Yeah, man, that's my first build. I mean, I just dove in. I'll make it real quick. I was doing some work for a CBD company. They hired me to do some advertising for them. I went to California. I met up with Dump Truck. They had hired him as well, some other guys. And then we eventually were going to head out towards Sturgis to do some advertising for them. They hired us to advertise their CBD company. And I noticed that the owner had a motorcycle on the back of his RV when they showed me videos of them traveling to Sturgis. So I went out, I bought a helmet. I didn't have a helmet. I had riding gloves, boots, things like that. I thought, I'm riding that bike when I'm out there. I haven't ridden in years. Long story short was, I asked him if I could ride it. He threw me the keys, said, I'm not going to have any time to ride this bike while we're here in Sturgis, so just take it whenever you want. And I rode that bike, every single day. And there at Sturgis is where I met, hung out more with Dump Truck. I met Pat from Lead Sled, met so many people, and just the conversation started. And with that conversation, I realized that I just had this ambition, and I knew nothing. I really knew nothing. As I was riding this motorcycle in Sturgis, I realized, well, what happens if it breaks down? I said, I know really how to put the oil in, maybe put some air in the tires and some gas. I don't know anything about mechanics really that could save me from, fixing this bike if I needed to on my own. And that drove me nuts. I want to know how everything's working on this bike. So I went to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where my wife is from, and we had some downtime, and I started working at some shops there in Milwaukee, and I came across a Sportster, an 03. I just made a deal with the guy. I got it for an amazing price, and I think I had the bike for about, 48 hours, and I just started ripping it apart, and I knew I wanted to build my own bike from it, and I thought it would be a great way to start with a Sportster. I was on lowbrow custom sites and all these different websites getting, all the information I could possibly retain, because it was all so new to me. I met up with who now is my mentor and just one of my best friends ever. I met a guy by the name of Eric Lunt, who you all know, Graybeard's Motorcycle Service. Yeah. Eric told me that he heard I was wanting to build a motorcycle, and I said I am. And he says, why don't you build it right here in this shop? I'll trade you time for time. You come into my shop and work for me, and I'll help you build your motorcycle. So I stayed in Milwaukee for, 4 months or so, 5 months.
That's
And
awesome.
he taught me everything he knows about, I work on customer bikes and all his flatheads and everything that just came across for him. He let me work on it. He hardly ever picked up a wrench. He made me do everything. And I would sweep the floors, and I loved every second. I would be the first one there and the last one to leave. And we built that bike together.
That thing that you're talking about right there, that is something that Mark and I and Heather, we talk about all the time, that like that gets shortcut so often.
That
And
needs to
like
happen
what you
way
did,
more.
what you did right there, that is legit. That is legit.
That dedication. Yeah.
Dude, I had my hands in that thing, and it was so great because he would laugh because I would, I'd pop the cam cover off or whatever, and I'd go, oh,
shit.
Whoa, look at that. That's what that looks like. Can you smell that? Can you smell that? Like, he would he'd laugh, and he loved it because the excitement for him was, because I was so excited. And he would ask me questions. He would constantly test me, which I love too. He goes, hey, what size cams are you going to put in your bike? And I go, I don't know. I was just going to order them from S&S. And he goes, no, man, come on, let's talk about this. So he starts, educating me on cams. We're going to get the 505 and 515s. And this is what we're going to do. And talking about the process of beginning to end. And I hadn't even gotten that far. All I knew is I wanted to, make it into a 1200. I didn't know how, but Eric taught me how, and it was great. And instead of just buying a kit online, man, he really went through the whole steps with me, and again, wouldn't turn a wrench.
That's outstanding.
He made me do everything, and the thing about Eric I love the most is when he would ask me to do something, he always said please and always said thank you. And he always had Black Sabbath cranking or Zakk Wylde cranking in the background. And we just had the best time. And we would sit there and talk about every step we were going to take. And Eric taught me, not only are you going to take the cam cover off, or you're going to take these heads apart, or we're going to put new, this is what you're looking for while you're taking this off.
Yeah.
You're not just unscrewing a bunch of bolts. This is what we're doing. We're removing this because we're either replacing it with bigger cylinders, or we're gonna, we want to make sure that the bottom end is good. This is what we're looking for, and I love that. And I still have a lot to learn, but I sure learned a lot building that first bike.
You hear that, Mark? You hear how the guy that was teaching him said please and thank you? I didn't hear one time where he called him a dumbass.
You never said that to me once.
There was
I don't
a
even know what
couple
the
of
hell's.
times,
I
man,
mean,
he
all
had
this
every-
computer stuff that I taught you how to do this magazine, you've never thanked me one time. I don't even know what's going on right now. But how cool that you had the ability to jump in to somebody's shop and become a part of that. Like me and Chris, and you had mentioned Pat Patterson. We've had so much, and I spent so much time at Lead Sled. And to see people come into the shop, and to see people walk into our shop, when Chris was back here at Flat Broke, to see the bikes in pieces and then come back a few months later and see them together, and we're like, holy shit, how did you guys pull that off? Like that inside, being a part of that structure, that you know what I mean? Like that display of wanting to be a part of building that bike is awesome.
Yeah. And I love that because, it was like Pat, when I met Pat in Sturgis, man, I felt, he was so great and so kind. And I was asking him a million questions, and I and he was so patient with me. And I looked at him and I said, I'm going to build a bike one day. And he goes, oh yeah, you should, man. And I thought to myself, and when I do, I'm going to use your parts. Dude,
and you ought to come meet me
all over that bike, and it really made me proud that it was from Pat's, because I've been to his shop, and to have his stuff on my bike, it really made me proud knowing that I was able to get it done, and I've just got a part of his passion now that is something I ride.
You think that's something? Me and Mark have scars on our body that are from Pat Patterson.
Yeah. Well, you ought to come hook up with me, and you will go to Pat's, and we'll just make our own bike there.
Let me tell you, man, I will walk in.
We'll just go and take it over. I mean, what's he going to do? He's not going to yell at me, Chuck. Trust me.
I will walk into any shop and hang out with Pat. But if we go to a bar and I see Pat, man, I'm going to hide.
I was going to say, you better turn around and run.
The scars you're going to get from Pat are on the liver, bro.
Oh, that's no shit right there. Yes, sir.
Oh, I've paid those dues. What, I lived there how many years, Chris?
Oh, you were there a long time.
A long time. I worked at
we've known Pat since we were kids in this shit together, like legitimately, man.
Even I know if Pat comes at me with a drink, I literally just turn around and walk the other way. I'm like, nope, I'm good.
And you were at the new shop, right, Chuck? You weren't at the old shop.
Yeah, so I was at the new and the bigger barn, but that whole street, he gave me the tour, where he started right there. I mean, it's amazing where he still lives, where he works, where he grew up and used to play in that barn. But yeah, it's the new shop I was at.
His father used to come into that shop all the time and tell us that, the most amazing part isn't the fact of the bikes that you guys build, it's the building that you build the bikes in. He said that was the most amazing thing.
Yeah.
It was rough back then.
Yeah, because people wouldn't believe it.
Yeah.
It's so cool that you have that passion, though.
Yeah, I think the cool thing I'm learning is a lot of the bikers and builders that one of the things I really love about them are the stories behind the bikes and the builders. It's almost like, when you own a guitar or a bass or something and you just have this relationship with it.
Yeah.
And selling it or trading it or whatever, it's just like it's out of the question because there's this relationship you have with this guitar and with this bike and I noticed that with a lot of these guys, man, and I love that. I love the passion, and now I realized it now just from building my first bike, just how much really it takes and how much heart you put into building it and building it right. It's one of the coolest things I've ever done. So much so that I'm going to be building another one.
Nice.
My man.
Right on.
My man. No, but that's it, dude. Like a lot of people looking from the outside, they see the bikes that we build and, a lot of us name our bikes and they think that's just some kitschy shit that we do. And it's like, wait a minute. Every one of the motorcycles that I've built has been a time in my life, a story behind the bike, like one of my children for the time that I put into raising them. You know what I mean? That's why it becomes so hard to get rid of one. I totally get
it. It really
that.
is, and I think there's every time I see a bike or even like a guitar or something, you see something, you go, oh man, you want to just grab it off the wall and play it or something, and you're at these motorcycle shows and it's like, oh man, I really want to ride that bike. I want to see how that one feels, or what's the difference there, and how because the stance is different, or the front end, or all this stuff. I just want to ride them all and check them all out, so I know what I want to put on my next bike.
Heather, did you catch that? Like my children, how I can't get rid of one.
Did you not see me rolling my eyes?
Yes,
because he's obviously never actually raised small children. Because there are more than one time that I would have been happy to not only sell them, I would give them away.
You don't even go there with me that I've obviously not raised small children.
You have not raised small children.
I had a teenage daughter. That's all I'm saying.
Not even close.
That's all I'm saying.
You don't even get up at night for the dogs.
Hey, we can. Oh well, she has a point there. You might want to shut up while you have a chance.
You're not going to win every argument.
It's so cool that you have seen both sides of this, and yet, you've now found two passions. And hopefully your bike building will be as amazing as what you do on stage, because if you're even comparable, we're going to be looking for some
he's
cool
definitely
shit coming out
off to a good start. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Hey man, I just wanted to run, man. I really I've learned a lot, man. I learned a lot from Eric, and the one thing I got to say is just you got to take your time to do it right, and he really taught me that. If it's not right, it's not, don't put it on the bike. Make sure you got what you're doing it right, and I do that with music, like when I'm learning songs, I'm rehearsing for an upcoming tour or whatever. I make sure I learn it right. And that way, if I know my parts, then the band's going to sound great. I'll even learn somebody else's parts too, just to make sure we're all in the same boat, man. Make sure we're all sounding good. That way it's going to be a lot better for the guy.
Chris does the same thing when he's getting ready for a show. I know nothing about music, but by the time he takes the stage, I feel like I could play his part and everybody else's part because I've heard it so many times.
Listen, I get it though. You don't want to think about that. You don't want to think about that. By the time I get on stage, I want to have fun, man. Yep. I want to have fun. I want it to be because there's a thing you were talking earlier, Chuck, about, let's go do some music. There's a thing that only musicians who play live music know this, but there's a thing that happens when every beat is perfect and every note is perfect and like this rhythm is going on, and all of a sudden the sound goes away. The lights go down, and it's a thing that musicians call being in the moment. And it is the best drug I've ever had in my life. Is the best thing, and you only get it once in a while, man. And when it comes around, you got to dig it.
Yeah, it's a very unique thing that happens when you are when everybody's on the same page musically. I think when you get everybody working towards the same goal, it's special. I don't know how much time we got, but I hate to do this, but I have to brag about one thing.
Yeah.
And it's kind of one of those things where, because I love what you guys do for the kids, and I'm just plugging in my phone here. I think it's important, and I do say this to a lot of people because I try to do as much as I can. I try to give back as much as I can because because I was a kid that, if you knew where I come from, you weren't quite sure if I was ever going to amount to anything in my life. But, and I had the right people around me that would lift me up when it was important. But I tell this story because I've had two of my favorite one of my favorite musical experiences and one of my worst musical experiences have all been with the same lead singer. And I'll tell you this, it was with Steven Tyler from Aerosmith.
Okay.
And he's a dear friend, and I've told him the same story, so it doesn't really matter. But we were doing a benefit, and it was a couple of years in a row. Well, one year in particular, Steven would always pick these really oddball songs, and we would just beg him to can we just do some Aerosmith, man, And when he would pick the oddball songs, it was just okay, and it wasn't great. But then when he would pick Aerosmith songs, you would see the whole band. We would just all lean in, and we did 5 or 6 Aerosmith songs for this charity one night, and it got to that point where I feel like everything disappeared. We were just all in it. And he's blowing his harmonica, and we're just playing these songs, and it's just these roots American rock and roll, and you could hear it. We were barely holding on at some point. We weren't quite sure what was going to happen, and somebody would play the best solo of their life, and you just hear the drummer yelling, and everybody was just having the best time, and you could feel the energy. And that to me was one of the most remarkable experiences ever, because I really felt like I was in this vibration, this musical bubble, and it was just vibrating, and it was wonderful to be part of. And at the same time, I could have a horrible experience with the same guy. So it's just you never know what's going to happen live, with people. But I think that's how we should always approach things. Is just try to find whatever it is that we're doing in life. Just try to find that peace. Try to find that point in your life where just the time just sort of disappears for a little bit, and you really are enjoying what you're doing.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's super cool. I think it's sort of in the same page as that. When you get done building something, everything's finally welded, everything's painted and put together, and you get on that thing and you go for that first shakedown ride, and you're going, and only God knows what's going to happen. You're hoping for the best. You've done the best that you can. That right there, same thing. that wind going past your, you know, through your hair, past your face, like everything disappears and you're feeling everything that you did.
How about the effect? Like this is another one of those parallels when you're riding 2 or 3 deep, and all the motors get into sync. And you get that sound where they're phasing in and out, and like in that hum that comes off of them. It's the same kind of thing I'm talking about with motorcycles and music, right?
Funny how that all rolls together here, huh?
Yep.
Important, man. I think real quick too. I'll just tell you a really quick story about the shakedown on my bike. It was for the 120th anniversary in Harley Davidson in Milwaukee, and I'd finished my bike on a Tuesday. And broke it in, and I was going to have the first ride, so I ride it in on Thursday to the museum, and I meet up with Pat and Warren. A bunch of these guys are like, "Come on, we're going to go over to Milwaukee Mike's and Carlos's place. Ride with us." So I rode with them, and I'm riding my bike and I'm hearing shit, and I'm just thinking something's weird, something's not right. And as I'm riding, my handlebars start like the risers are starting to become loose on it. So I literally am riding like with the handlebars are just like, I feel like they're gonna fall off or something, you know. So I pull up to Milwaukee Bikes and I go into his shop and I tighten up the risers, and I realize, okay, these things are they're not the right risers. I'm gonna have to get different ones or whatever. But my handlebars are tweaked. I look down and a couple of my spacers are missing, and a bolt from the motor mount is gone. I look at Pat and I go, "Hey, I'm gonna get this thing home. You know, it's like 6 o'clock or something." He goes, "Hey, it's not going to get dark for another couple hours." I said, "Well, I want to get home before it gets dark." I go, "I think my bike's falling apart." He goes, "It's a Sportster. What's the worst that can happen?" So, you don't understand, man. I said it's worse than that. And I got that bike home, and I think the best thing about it was I pull up into the driveway into Eric's place, into the shop. He wasn't home yet. And I pull that bike in and I look down, I look at, oh my God, I had to tighten these risers and there's a spacer missing and one of the motor mount bolts had completely fallen out. Oh, that's what I heard, you know? And I'm so thankful that I made it there in time and that nothing bad happened. But I was so grateful that I had to get back up on the lathe and make a new spacer and make a new bolt and do the whole thing. I was so excited for the opportunity to make new parts for my bike that almost fell apart on me.
Mm-hmm. So
ridiculous.
2 years ago, Chris built his first 100% from scratch frame for a 49 panhead.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful, and he did an incredible job, like completely handcrafted pretty much every piece on the motorcycle. His shakedown ride was a 200-mile ride from Winslow, Arizona to Phoenix.
Yeah.
Hey, if you're gonna go, do it, right?
No, listen. When we first left, like I'm not even gonna pretend to be a tough guy. Michael Lichter came with us for today. It was with a bunch of the hamsters, and everyone's getting ready to in a line. And my buddy Tom, who's also a hamster, he says, "Hey, come ride with us. We're gonna get pictures with Michael." I'm like, "Listen, man, I'm gonna leave now." And I'm going to get about 20 miles ahead of you guys, and I'm going to go really slow for a little while.
It's a 49 panhead, and it's like it has 2 miles on it.
Not even just to break the motor in, just in case the frame splits in half and I end up on my face. I'd rather Michael Lichter's not taking pictures of that shit.
Yeah, that was the build that got. Yeah, that was the build that got all the way down that when it came to painting the bike, I literally made Chris paint it since he did everything else. I did the body work, I got everything ready, and I said, as a matter of fact, you did everything else. This is your build. You paint it. And he actually painted did a beautiful job painting that bike too.
Well, and I would have never been able to do anything if not for Steve Broyles, just like you're talking about, Chuck. So Steve was my guy. Steve Broyles took me to his shop in Detroit, and we set cots up in that shop and lived in the shop for a week. We would lay down together, sleep for a little bit, get back up, work on the motor, work on the tranny. That's the best shit that there is, man. If you miss out on that part, riding a custom bike, go buy one. Who cares, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I love the most about it. I think I've got this shit-eating grin on my face when I'm riding my bike. I built it, and I have so much pride in it. And when it turns heads, it even makes me that much more happy, because it's like I know every inch of that bike. And what I love too is I look at it and I go, okay, you know what? Next, I think I'm going to replace this, or I'm going to do this different. It's still not finished,
It never is.
Yeah, it's funny. Just the wanting to be alone, Chris. Though you're riding, you said I'll do the shakedown. I'm going to go ahead of the group here for a little bit just to make sure that everything is okay. I insisted on doing that as well. Hey, let me just take this thing around the block. And
Yeah.
I'm just going to go by myself for a little bit and make sure that it's all okay.
Yeah, I don't mind ending up on my ass, but I'd rather not, and especially not in front of an internationally renowned motorcycle photographer. You know what I mean? Like, I've seen some pictures that Michael has taken of other people eating shit. He's really good at it.
Hey, he caught me. What was that? I think within less than an inch of dying with Danger Dan.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Was that just recently at the dirt track?
That was actually the one you're talking about is Nathan Schultz, but this was 2 years ago at the Texas Fandango. I have a series of pictures that Michael got, and you can see he's maybe a half inch away from hitting me, but it's the whole series. It's crazy.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah.
I got the shot though.
Hey, it's all that matters.
So listen, I would be remiss though if we didn't talk about your time with Alice Cooper, because
come on, yeah.
Everyone has always talked about Alice's intellect and what he's like to be around as a person, and that's what I want to know, man. Because we've all spent a lifetime. His stage show is outrageous, and the music has been the soundtrack of our lives. But I want to know what it's like to be around the cat.
Yeah, Alice, he's a very unique guy, very original. I have to say, Alice loves what he does for a living. The character of Alice Cooper is his life's work. He knows that person better than anybody. He's very, very in tune to what he's doing on stage. Alice has been doing it since, this 1970, 71, I think, is when the first, anyways, 18 came out. Love It to Death came out, where he has some success. And he started before that just as a young kid, playing parties and bars and things like that with his best friends. And they became, one of the biggest bands in the world. He's been doing it for a long time. And the reason why I tell you that is because every time we go on stage, he's now 77. He will be 77 years old. He's still trying to get a record deal. He's still trying to prove that he's the best. He never phones it in. He never kind of does the show. It doesn't matter how big the audience is or how small the audience is. Just a theater, if it's a massive festival in Europe with 100,000 kids there. He does the same show every single night.
That's amazing.
And he loves it. He's a creature of habit, man. He's very positive. So no matter what it is he's doing, he's always having the best time. It's either the best movie he's seen, the best restaurant he's eaten at, and it could be fucking KFC. And it'd be like, that was amazing. He's a very positive individual. He believes in everything he's doing as being great. He has a lot of self-confidence, and he's a great poker player. And I tell you that because I know. We play poker every night on the bus, and we have a blast doing it. It's me and Alice, his wife, our guitar player Ryan Roxy, and Alice's assistant Kyler are all on the same bus, and we do our show, and we get on there, we eat dinner, and we sit down and we play poker till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and then go to bed and get up and do it all over again.
Hey, I can't believe we didn't think of this, Mark, but I think one of our buddies from back in Pittsburgh played with Cooper for a while, right?
I'm not sure.
How long have you played with him?
20. I've been with him for 22 years.
Had to be
That's a
at
pretty
one
good
point.
gig.
So it was our buddy Reb who played with.
Reb Beach.
Yeah, he played with Talkin for a while and with.
I just was on tour with my band with Beasto Blanco and the Dead Daisies, and Reb was on guitar.
No kidding.
Oh yeah.
And Reb did play with Alice for a little while. Yeah, I think it was in the early '90s, I want to say, and it was before my time. But yeah, hell of a guitar player, that guy. Wow.
I went to high school with Reb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was the kid that was most likely to get beat up.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
And it was mostly because of his music. I mean, he was a good friend. I mean, he was in our little group, you know.
But he was
we were
never
all sort of into bands,
never without his
stuff
guitar.
like that.
He was never, he was walking
That
down the
guy's
hall
one of the
carrying his
best.
guitar.
He's an amazing guitar player and just just a really funny guy. He has great stories, and he's also a big diehard Steelers fan.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
One of my stories. Go ahead, Mark. I'm sorry.
I was just saying growing up, we spent a lot of time together. That group was usually 4 or 5 of us, and we spent pretty much every day together in our early teens kind of thing. It was pretty cool to grow up with him. He's still a super nice guy.
Oh, he's
Love Reb.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
a good dude.
Yeah.
One of my stories early on in live music, Reb was best friends with the drummer in the band that I played with that Mark used to make fun of. Mark named our band Toss Salad and Brown Gravy. That was absolutely not the name of it, but the drummer
That should have been the
Would have
name.
made it.
The drummer was one of Reb's best friends, and that's how I got to know him. And one night, Reb came and worked. We actually had an ADAT machine that we rented from the local music place, and Reb was recording off of our board for us. And at one point, he came up on stage, and him and our guitar player got into this back and forth solo duel. And it was the coolest night that I've ever been a part of anything musical. I ran home, and we had 4 ADAT tapes, man, full of shit from that night. And I scoured through every one, and I finally, I saw Reb somewhere, and I said, hey, man, I couldn't find any of the stuff from when you and Rob were on stage together. He goes, yeah, I shut the machine off before I went up. I was like, you bastard.
Might not have been as cool if you recorded it, maybe. I don't know, but that's
Right?
too bad.
It was so good. It was so good.
Oh man.
Well,
Yeah, but Alex is he's a great guy to be around, a great guy to tour with. I've been with him for 22 years. I thought it would be something that would last just a couple of years when I got the gig. I wasn't quite sure, just how long he planned on touring, and I've had the opportunity to play with some of the best musicians out there. He's also, just opened so many doors for me with the amount of, people I've met through him and his manager, Shep Gordon. And this last year we were on tour with Rob Zombie, and it looks like this year we're going to be heading out in the United States, joining up with Alice Cooper and Judas Priest.
Wow.
So that'll be a good time.
Nice.
Dude,
so,
let's talk about Priest for a minute. I cannot believe that last album from them. I'm in love with that shit, and I can't believe how old is Halford now?
Alfred's a genius.
He's in there too. He's in his 70s, and there's another guy that just knows. He just does what he does so well. And the thing I love about Judas Priest is that album you're talking about is it sounds like a Judas Priest record, right? It's just like.
Yeah.
It's like no time had gone away. It's just there's still that same band, and Rob's still that same singer singing about the same stuff. And I love it. I love Priest, and I love everybody that that whole genre of music is just so great. And I'm glad guys like Alice and Rob are out there still doing it.
So let's
think
talk
about how cool this is. That how many people through this magazine that you started years ago, like you said, we made that intersection between music and motorcycles with Keith and Xavier.
Oh yeah.
James Root, Chuck, like how many people that we've met up with that now I'm sort of bummed this is going on here a bit and it's going to be over, and I want to keep in touch with Chuck. Like it's like talking to somebody I've known for 25 years.
And that's,
what I mean?
dude, and that's how it was the minute we finally sat down with Chuck. It was like he was somebody that would have been in our crew the whole time. You know?
Dude, I want to hang out with him.
Yeah.
Well, thanks,
Like, no
guys. That
shit.
means a lot, man. I mean, I just The one thing that motorcycles has done for me was just sort of open myself up a little bit more. I was just so consumed with music and touring, and I was getting a little bored with life. And when motorcycles came around, I just found myself just vibrating and just had this excitement about it again, because I was learning something new. And I meet guys like you, and you guys are like my rock stars, and I get to talk about motorcycles, and I get to learn about, the things that you do and what you've done with your life, especially when it comes to building bikes, and especially cool guys like yourself and like Eric Lund, who take the time, and Patrick and Dump Truck and all these guys, and Warren and Scott and everybody that's just been so wonderful to me, that take the time to teach me something, or even just to maybe take the time and have a conversation and share the knowledge of the motorcycle or an experience. And I love that. And it's ignited a new fire inside of me. And right now it's winter, and I'm bummed because I can't ride my motorcycle.
But you can start on your next
This
project.
is the time,
winter
though.
is called shop time.
Yep. And
It
that's
has
why I
its perks.
married her right there. No, but listen, Chuck, honestly, it's not hard for people to take you in like that and share with you and everything, because you're doing it all from the right place. You really are. And I
thanks,
mean,
man.
that's the biggest thing. We all have had our share of peckerheads that come through this, and it's the same as when we first met Xavier. Me and Mark used to go out to the shows. Keith, Xavier's guitar player from Buck Cherry, was a guy from right up the road from us in our hometown. He was from
Keith
Beaver
Nelson.
Falls.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know him very well. He co-wrote
Great guy.
2 songs off our. He just co-wrote 2 songs off the new Bisto Blanco record that
Oh,
Nice.
Keith is the best, and he's a straight
He's
up Pittsburgh
fantastic.
guy. Yep,
Oh yeah.
Yep.
straight up Pittsburgh
One
guy.
of my favorites, hands down.
Yeah, so let's talk about that for a minute, because that's you're splitting your time, which
Okay.
that gives you more than a full calendar.
Dude.
Let's talk about this project.
So all those guys are my best friends, and then that young lady right there, that's Calico Cooper. That's Alice's daughter.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, and she is phenomenal performer and incredible singer. And we share the singing duties, her and I. I play guitar in this band. That guy I've got my arms around, that's Brother Latham. He's the first dude I met when I moved to Los Angeles, right from Lake Tahoe, California. I got a job at a music store in 1986. They hired me on a Monday. On Tuesday, I went in to go to work, and that guy opened the door, and he said, "Hey, I'm Chris. I work here." And I said, "I'm Chuck." And we met, and after work, he showed up to my hotel room, because I didn't have an apartment yet, with a 12-pack of beer, and we ended up being best friends, and we still are to this day. We're in a band together.
Right on.
Yeah, man, it's a great band. It's like if you think about the way I describe Bisto is very much like Plasmatics, Motorhead. It's very theatrical, aggressive, and a lot of fun to listen to and watch as well.
Well, there's a lot of people on here already that have been talking about this. They're big fans of the band already. And
Yeah, cool.
We're going to have to educate ourselves a little bit, because they're saying this should be an act that we add to Smoke Out.
Right.
So that might
Let's do it.
that might be something we have to talk about in the near future here, because Smokeout's a good place for the crossover between motorcycles and music. That's for damn sure.
I would love to get my band out in more motorcycle events. We're the perfect band for it. We get you going, get you motivated, get you excited, and then we can all go out riding together too.
Right on.
Very cool.
Right on, man. Well, listen, you've been an absolute blast to be on here. We're gonna make sure that we throw up all the links. You guys can get out for sure. Hit the website.
Yeah.
Definitely hit Chuck up on Instagram, on Facebook. But
That's
check out the Bisto Blanco project, and we're all going to be on the lookout for the next bike build. As a matter of fact, somebody on here said something that's a perfect thing. They said we should have a whole edition of Cycle Source magazine of bikes built by musicians.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah,
So,
right.
I'm down. I'm down for that.
That would be a
let's
great
get
idea.
together.
Yeah, that'd be
Chuck,
super cool.
Chuck, we're gonna have to have you slated for that one though.
Wait a minute.
Let's do it.
Here's the caveat, though, is you all have to come together at some point and just do a jam.
Oh, dude, that'd be sick.
Oh, that'd be super cool.
So
That would be super rad.
definitely we have to get a bike from Xavier, a bike from Chuck.
Great. You get a bike from
Somebody
Xavier.
needs to
His
call.
bike's getting
Jeff-
Somebody
better
needs to
than
call
everybody else.
Nelson and get him involved.
Jeff Cochran.
Cochran, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Dude,
What
do you
about,
ever
Right.
Bobby Good Times?
did you ever
Yeah.
did you ever hear Jeff Cochran play guitar, dude?
No, but
Oh.
you know what? I just so how I discovered him was there was a TV show. I found where they were talking about him, and I went deep into his building, into his bikes. Wow, that guy's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a great! And I had no idea he was a guitar player as well.
And
But,
dude, at
what
one
a
point,
great builder.
At one point, his band had an offer for a national tour. It was right when he got out of it. But he
And
like
what a
actually.
what a great person he is. Also,
Oh,
Yeah.
Celtic
yeah.
just nominated.
Yeah, that guy-
Chuck
got to be
for
one of my
Garage
dearest
Build
friends. Just a
2025.
great guy.
Yeah, I would love to meet him. I love a lot of the things he's doing. It's really impressive.
Yes,
Well,
sir.
we can make that happen. That's for sure.
That's easy.
What
Yeah,
about
that's an easy
Momoa?
one.
We're gonna have to get him. Does he build?
I don't know.
I think he buys.
I don't know. Gotta get a hold of
Fire.
Teach for that one.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
It's all good though.
Right on.
very cool.
Well, listen,
This-
buddy.
this
Thank
was
you.
awesome.
Thank you so much for taking the time to do this with us. You know, the more time I spend around you, the more I wanna find reasons to run into you again.
Oh yeah,
Let's
dude.
make
We
that
need to
happen.
find a way to
Let's
hang
make
out with
that
this
happen.
Absolutely, dude.
guy. Yeah.
So tell
All right,
your wife
guys.
thank you for letting you come on and do this. I know you just got home. Give Frankie big smooches for me. Frankie's the cutest French bulldog out there.
English, French mix.
Yep, he's so cute. Oh my God.
Oh my God, the dog.
Sorry.
Right on.
He's the best. Now
Where-
we're pulling on your heartstrings.
Where's the next motorcycle thing we're gonna see at, Chuck?
Well, hopefully I'll make Sons of Speed.
Right on.
For Daytona?
You know, that's the goal here. It really it depends. I'm blessed with a busy schedule, but at the same time, it eliminates me from doing all the cool bike events that I want to go to. So my goal is this year. Obviously, I'm gonna do I'll be there for Mama Tried.
Very nice.
Sons of Speed. I'm looking to get down to, as well as I'm gonna have the first couple of weeks of August off. So I'm hoping to make Sturgis as well.
Nice.
Right on.
Excellent.
So I'll let you guys know.
Yeah,
please do. Was anything we can do to help you get into whatever you need to do and have a better time at it? We'll show you whatever ropes we know.
Oh, I appreciate it. All right, man. It's not about what you know; it's who you know.
That's
Amen.
it.
That's right.
Right
All
on,
right,
Chuck.
man.
Thank you so much.
Well,
Thank
we'll
you
catch
so
up with
much.
you again real soon, buddy. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks,
Thanks,
man.
Chuck.
Thanks for having me.
Take care.
All right, guys, you're watching Shop Talk here on the Dennis Kirk Motorcycle Studio Network. We're going to check out a cool feature bike. Not as cool as Chuck's,
Nope.
but pretty cool nonetheless. We come back on the other side. We got events for you. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Shop Talk.
Out of Focus is brought to you by Garage Build. Submit your build, share your passion. Powered by Dennis Kirk.
My name is Mike Aldridge. I'm from Bend, Oregon. This is a 2001 Harley-Davidson lowrider that we built at 6-Volt Cycles in Bend, Oregon. So this is a memorial to my mom who died in 2006 from a pulmonary embolism at the age of 42. She was my best friend. I'm an only child. She taught me how to ride motorcycles. She taught me how to fish, how to shave, how to shoot, how to be a man. So I figured the best way that I could honor her name was to create a beautiful build with her name on it. So that way her name never dies. And it's known in the motorcycle world, and now wherever I go I get to hear the name Darla, and it keeps her name fresh in my memory. We have pinstriped her name on the bike. We put her ashes in the down tube under the seat, so she's always watching my ass when I'm ripping around. I've got her picture on the inside of my cut, so she's always watching my back. There's about 300 hours in the paint job alone. It's actually one of my best friends' first paint job ever. And so he absolutely knocked it out of the park. Zigzag Customs is his name, Jason Horner out of Zigzag, Oregon. We've done a full FXRT workup on a Dyna. We've got 2118 wheels from Jade Affiliated. Everything you see that's shiny and gold is 24 karat gold plated. My mom was allergic to fake gold, so I decided to get as much real gold on it as I could. There's a custom dash panel because she was a huge NASCAR fan, so we decided to make it a little racy, and there's lots of inspiration from my childhood with the etch work and gold plating. I was a big lowrider fan as a kid, so I tried to tie that in as well. The motor is a stock 88 punched up to a 95 with all the good stuff, hydraulic cam conversions, flat top pistons, bored out, everything, all the good stuff. 10.5 to 1 compression. We've got full Brembo controls, brakes, all the good stuff there as far as braking and power. Yeah, just touched everything, every nut and bolt, everything's been in my hands at some point. And it's just been an incredible way to reconnect with my mom. Oh, I think I started riding motorcycles at probably 6 or 7 years old. Purple Yamaha PW50. Went into dirt bikes and enduros, and being from North Dakota, it's just a lot of gravel road ripping and back trail ripping. So basically all dirt bikes and enduros until I got out of college, and then I bought a 79 Shovelhead and rode that for a few years. Took a few years off to get into the chef game and cook and kind of go real hard, and was working 80, 90 hours a week. And once I got out of that, I started a business selling cheeseburgers and ended up selling that and putting all my money into this here Dyna. She was into everything with 2 wheels and anything loud. She actually had a Kawasaki Ninja 600 when I was a kid. She always had a TW 250. You know, stepdad always had a KLR, and then he got Harleys, and we were always on bikes. You know, it was like some of my fondest memories are watching my stepdad do wheelies on his motorcycles with my mom on the back, and you know, they were always off somewhere on the bike, going for a putt, as they like to call it. So, you know, being on the bike and being on something with some of my mom's remains is a good way to remember all those good times that we used to have with motorcycles. And so, yeah, this is all in her honor. Starla the Dyna. Mike Aldridge from Bend, Oregon.
Everything we do at the track shapes what we build for the street and the dirt.
You can see how bad these guys want it. The race to the line.
For us, racing is not for the trophies or the glory. We compete because it makes everything we do faster, more durable, and tested to a higher standard. For S&S, racing is the ultimate in proven performance, and we've been proving it since 1958.
I'm Brian Clock from Clockworks in Mitchell, South Dakota, and you're watching Shop Talk.
Clockworks, where innovation meets style. Clockworks specializes in high-quality windshields, fenders, phone mounts, and other parts designed to enhance your ride, with a commitment to craftsmanship and an eye for detail. Ensure your bike not only rides smoothly, but looks stunning too. Elevate your riding experience today. Shop getclock.com.
I feel like coming back right away and saying, "Yay! It didn't crash the feed."
I was like, you started
Dude,
that, and I'm like,
little-
please don't crash, please don't crash.
I love that little short of Brian and Cargo.
Dude.
Whatever kind of cookie he's eating, I want that because he doesn't give a crap about nothing that's going on. He's just busy on whatever he's eating.
Listen, when you get to spend any time with Cargo, you will understand very quickly. Cargo makes the world spin.
Yep.
Like that's
Yeah.
it.
Brian
Like
Clock
this.
from Clockworks in Mitchell, South Dakota.
Yeah,
You're
he
watching
doesn't
ShopTalk.
give a shit. That cookie is his whole world right
Man.
there.
Cargo came over today.
Cookie.
Chris went to go get pretzels and came back with a whole new set of Hot Wheels racetrack. I'm like, you went for pretzels.
You bet. Listen,
He's
we
like,
have
he
this.
needed another jump.
We have this Hot Wheels thing, man. That's all I can.
Priorities.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
That's
like,
it.
pretzels, Hot Wheels. I'm like,
Hey,
I'm not sure how that works.
Listen,
but-
how about Chuck though, right?
Dude.
Like just about the time
Right.
that you think like, man, you know, all the years we've been doing all this stuff and all the pricks that you run across, and like you wonder if anybody's still doing it from the same place, right? And then you run across a cat like this, who's like willing to learn everything, do everything. He wants to take in every part of it. Like he loves this stuff.
And you can tell he doesn't work. He does not go to work.
Yep.
He loves what
He
he
enjoys
does.
it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
No,
it's-
dude, we definitely got to hang out with that dude.
Yeah,
he
you'll like
fits,
him.
Like it just seems like it'd be one of the guys that fits right in the room. You know.
Yep.
Yeah, buddy.
That's pretty awesome.
He really does.
Yeah. So, reminder, you guys have 1 week left.
Yes.
1 week.
Buy bicycles.
Get a bicycle.
Well, no, wait a minute.
Come to Cycle Source's
I
website.
think they have two because they're not doing the California motorcycle giveaway until the following week. So
Donate
if you miss
donate
this
your
one-
bicycle. You get a free subscription to Cycle Source. If you already have a subscription to Cycle Source, we're even going to pass that on so that you get a free subscription to Grease and Gears TV. So there's no reason.
all.
Help some kids. Have a chance at winning a brand new customized motorcycle. Not a brand new motorcycle, a brand
A
new
newly
custom.
customized
Newly
motorcycle.
customized. There you go. That's better than me.
Yeah. Newly
Wording. It's all about
customized.
wording.
Wording.
It is wording.
It's the word. Sometimes I don't word well.
So we're gonna check out Chuck's band and see about maybe you guys are right that we can get him to smoke out. Hey, here's something else to look forward to. We told you that Tomcat's video is going to be up this week. The full video for the Dream Rides bicycle drive from last year, because we only played you a little piece of it. There's interviews with at the Air National Guard wing, and more stuff when the kids finally came into the building. So you'll want to check that out. And next week, we have reporters on the ground right now at Moon Eyes at the custom show. So Brian and Vanessa are out there. They've sent back a bunch of stuff. It is going to be my pleasure to tear into this stuff and have a full report for you sometime this week. But man, the stuff that they're telling us, we need to get our shit together here in the United States because these guys are putting on.
They know how to celebrate the culture.
Yeah, they sure do.
She and I were chatting a little bit yesterday. They were fortunate enough to get in the doors early because it's a one-day show. Moon Eyes is a one-day show, and there were 25,000 people waiting to get in.
You hearing that? 25,000.
25,000. Apparently, the building is a few city blocks big, but 25,000 people were waiting to get in.
Mark, you probably can't read the comments on the side of the screen, but Radar's
mom is,
Hazel is watching,
hitting on you.
and she says how much she likes your beard.
right.
So please say hello to Hazel.
Radar, he doesn't have to call me daddy. just saying,
Way to make it weird. Nick Hildebrittle, can we just get an add-on to our current subscription if we're already in both? Absolutely. We can add on for you. Anything to help get these kids bikes, anything to help out the efforts of what John and his team at Dream Rides are doing, we're happy to help out.
Please.
Hey, speaking of helping people too, anybody reach out to help Brother Speed. I know they've been posting some stuff about him. If you have it in you, reach out, pitch in. He's haven't gotten an update on him in a bit or talked to Charlie, but there's another one of our inner circle that could really use a hand right now. So
there was another thing earlier in the show too. I missed one of the comments. Somebody, it's a Smokeout OG too, but somebody from Suck Bang Blow just passed away.
Oh
no shit.
Yeah. I'm trying to find the comment. If you guys can comment again and let us know so we can give them
It was
a...
from Rob Dorr. Let's see. It was towards the beginning of the show.
Yeah, I apologize that I missed that. I wanted to say something, but we were right in the middle of something. So absolutely prayers for Brother Speed, prayers for everybody at the at Suck Bang Blow. I know those guys are all like a super tight family. Tomcat, we're going to be praying for you coming into your surgery. And all of you guys too, man, just for the holidays. Like I said, the holidays are hard. They're hard for a lot of people for a lot of reasons. You know, make it easier. Wrap your arms around somebody. Share the time. Share your mind. Make it a better place. And now...
kindness is free.
and now for something completely different.
Am I up?
Are you ready, Heather?
I don't know. I always think I'm ready, and then stage fright. I choke.
Did you get that monitor yet so you can read these things? Anybody get you a monitor yet?
Yeah, she did. She
did.
Look.
I still screwed up.
Look over here.
Look.
See? Heather has her own monitor now where she can read her events. So that means now we have, what is there, 7 monitors here?
1, 2, 3, 4,
no damn excuses.
7.
Hey, there's
I need another one for comments.
Look,
so I can actually read people's comments.
Just so you guys
I didn't get to say hello to Hazel.
Just so you guys know. So when we're running Shop Talk, this whole soundboard is all the audio that goes on in the show. And if you see me leaning over, that's what I'm doing, is trying to run the sound. But each one of these monitors has a different thing. The guests come in on this computer. Heather answers all the comments on this computer. She's watching all the comments on that computer. There's a lot of stuff going on. This is my sound effects device right here.
He won't give me. I think I should have the sound effects personally.
Nope,
I would be so much
not.
better.
Absolutely
with the sound
not.
Effects.
Nope.
Yes. It would be way more funny.
See, because you don't know when to do that.
They want to know if you're going to mute me this time.
If I'm going to mute you?
Yeah.
No,
remember
absolutely
you muted
not.
me? You just shut me right up last week.
If only.
Shop Talk is brought to you by Cyclefish. Cyclefish, the most complete list of motorcycle events in the U.S.
Ready, Heather? Here we go.
I think I'm ready. Parts and Labor 2025 Custom Motorcycle Expo, January 11th and 12th at the Del Mar Fairgrounds in San Diego, California. Put on by our good friends at Built Well. I think we'll be there. You should be too.
That's right.
Lone Star Swap Meet, the largest indoor motorcycle swap meet in Texas, January 11th and 12th at the Fair Park Dallas Inside Food and Fiber Pavilion. Check that out. Saturday, February 1st, Carolina's Full Throttle Magazine Bike Show. Vendors, tattoos, custom bikes, live music, and a whole bunch more, including a Perowitz paint show. You can get more information at fullthrottlemagazine.com.
Can I get an amen?
Cycle Showcase, February 8th and 9th, 2025. You can get more information at cycleshowcasestl.com. Chopperfest, February 9th, Ventura County Fairgrounds, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Get more information at chopperfestival.com.
What the hell? Stop saying that.
What the hell? Flat Out Friday, February 21st, 2025 at the Pfizer Forum.
Pretty good. You did pretty good that time.
There you go. Nobody likes to show up, Heather.
Mama Tried Motorcycle Show at the Eagles Ballroom in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Tickets are on sale right now.
There's a question.
Right. What?
Do Eagles need ballroom?
Yes.
Well. What?
Tropical Tattoo Chopper Time.
No. You missed it.
What?
You even have your own monitor now.
Why are we still there? We've been there, done that.
Okay.
Moving on. Duh. Catch up with the program. Don't you see I'm running my own program over here? Oh, chopper time. When is it? March 6th. I couldn't find the date.
Blackout.
March 6th, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. 100% of the proceeds go to the Veteran Support Fund. Cool 20 bucks gets your cool chopper in the lot. Hello, there's more.
Oh, there's more.
Waiting for the wind cycle. Donnie Smith Show bike show and swap meet in the Midwest extravaganza at the St. Paul River Center, March 29th and to 30th, 2025. We'll be there too. Go ahead, do it.
Born Free.
June 21st at the in Silverado, California. You can get more information at bornfreemotorcycleshow.com.
And the big one.
Can I get an amen?
Oh, yeah.
Save the date, September 4th through 7th, 2025. I got a text from Randall the other day on Thanksgiving. Are you ready for this?
Tell
Mark?
him. Tell him.
I'm so excited.
It says bingo.
It said, Happy Thanksgiving, ding dong, bingo is gone. Bingo is not.
Which I kind of feel bad, though. I kind of feel bad.
Like, yes.
Screw that.
We chased off bingo.
Nice.
They were not nice. That particular group of bingo people were not nice. They were mean.
They were not.
They would literally hit you
big
with their
Nazis.
walkers. They were terrible.
They were big Nazis.
Randy's
all
doing
bingo
a jig
people
right
like
now.
that.
He's so excited.
I was so excited.
Right on.
I actually said to him, I said,
in the morning. It'll be no 4 o'clock in the
I
morning.
know.
Thursday
I
night.
said, please tell me this isn't April Fool's Day. Are you for real? He promised me he was, so I was so excited.
Smoke out west again. It's coming.
We're
it's
working
coming.
on it.
Yeah, we have properties picked out that we're looking at.
Mhm.
So just stick with us. Smoke out west is coming back. I promise you.
If we build it, y'all better come.
Yeah, no shit.
That's what I'm saying.
Get ready. Get all your West Coast buddies out.
My calendar's pretty full right now.
You better shut the F up. Oh, right on.
Wow.
So listen, man, thanks for tuning in with us. I know it's heavy. You know, Yellowstone is on. You have to make those choices. But when we have guests like Chuck, what are you going to do?
I know, but
you ain't going to miss us with Chuck for Yellowstone. I'm just saying, Chuck's badass.
No, but the longer you talk, the longer it takes us to get home to watch it.
See what she just did right there? Maybe you should have the sound effects. No, you shouldn't, because that's when I go.
Oh, Biker Build Off 2025. It's happening.
Yes.
We have a panel.
We do have a panel.
We do have
you
a
need
panel.
to talk about that for a minute.
So, for those of you who did or did not know, there was some kerfuffle about Build Off 2025. So we have put together a panel.
Crybabies.
I was trying to be nice.
Yeah.
No, come on. Listen, we should be honored that people took it that seriously.
Yes.
That's why we didn't make a big stink out of it, because I want people to be that invested, and they were.
Yep,
and that's
they were
awesome.
very invested. But we have a panel put together, Professional Monkey, and they're all volunteers, or actually a couple of them we asked. So Professional Monkey, Shelton Einerwald, Gordon Olaf, who were 3 of the builders for 2024, have agreed to be on the panel. Jason Hallman, yes, is on the panel. So with that group, we're all going to sit down and talk, and we're going to put together some rules that will be followed pretty clearly this year to,
Flake Paint and Design? Did you say
Nice
that
one.
already?
Yeah, Gordon.
Yeah, Gordon's going to be on the panel.
Yep. So it's going to be interesting. So we're going to put together some rules that will be very abundantly clear prior to us selecting the builders, and will be followed throughout, as well as.
And we're not, and none of those are set in stone yet.
No.
Like we have some input about, is there going to be a ceiling on spending limit? Is there going to be a ceiling on the amount that somebody can help you with your
So
bike?
we're going to have a meeting.
Everybody has opinions about it.
Tiger, are you trying to kill us? You shut your dirty mouth.
Springing fall smoke out in North Carolina. Dear God. Although.
Shut up.
All right.
Listen, man. Backhand him.
I want to tell you guys on behalf
you can't
of
have witnesses, though.
on behalf of us and all of the sponsors up in the corner, especially Dennis Kirk, who leaves the door open for the studio so we can come in every week. Sundays are our favorite time because we get to catch up with you guys. Thank you for letting us share a little of your headspace. And hopefully next week we can scoop together enough shit to spread out through 120 minutes of two-wheel motorcycle bullshit when we will come back and enjoy this time with you again. Same chopper time.
Same chopper channel.
Holidays are coming, Felicia. Buy me something nice.